Welcome to Quick Savant's Book Talk. In Don't Believe Everything You Think, Joseph Nguyen reveals the root of suffering, our own thinking. This #1 international bestseller, translated into 31 languages, offers a transformative guide to overcoming anxiety, self-doubt, and self-sabotage without relying on willpower. Through timeless wisdom and practical tools, Nguyen helps readers achieve mental freedom, unconditional love, and joy regardless of circumstances. Perfect for anyone seeking peace and clarity, this expanded edition includes journaling prompts and new insights to unlock your mind's infinite potential. Amazon links to buy in description. Protect your eyes from the sun with stylish state-of-the-art sunglasses from Coast A. A must if you drive or are near the water or snow. See what's out there. Click and buy anything within 24 hours on Amazon to earn a small commission for Quick Savant, which he will use to feed his multiple rescue dogs.
Coast A sunglasses. See what's out there. Coast A sunglasses. See what's out there.
What this book will teach you, and how to get the most out of reading it. This book aims to help you discover everything you've been looking for, and the answers to all your life's concerns. This is a rather strong statement, but you'll see why I'm so confident in it in a moment. From the bottom of my heart, I know that after reading this book, you will be a completely different person. Change is the only constant. You will undoubtedly change because growth is an unavoidable part of life. Sheryl Sandberg once said, "We cannot change what we are not aware of, and once we are aware, we cannot help but change." You can experience perfect peace, unconditional love, complete fulfillment, and an abundance of joy in your life regardless of who you are, where you're from, what your background is, what you've done and haven't done, and what status or wealth you have or don't have. I assure you that despite appearances, you are not the exception. Love has no bounds. All you need to get all the answers you've been seeking is an open mind and a receptive heart. Indeed, many of my coaching clients have reported experiencing the very real-world consequences and outcomes of understanding the information in this book, including a 2 to 5x increase in income, exponential growth in their businesses, deeper and more harmonious relationships, the overcoming of lifelong addictions, the spontaneous disappearance of destructive habits, and an increase in health, vitality, and overall energy. Many people who comprehend the concepts in this book experience miracles like these daily. Furthermore, this is only the beginning. Stories of such daily miracles would take up more than half of this book, if I were to enumerate some of the advancements and outcomes people have experienced due to this understanding. Since it is not the purpose of this book, I am hesitant to discuss any of these external effects. This internal comprehension of how our life experiences function leads to these outward expressions. In reality, we only desire these outward outcomes such as wealth and significance because we desire inside emotions like fulfillment, joy, love, and serenity. We want feelings in our lives, not material possessions, but we fall into the trap of thinking that material possessions would provide us with those sentiments. It is the emotion that holds the key. This book will help you discover the sentiments you've been seeking your entire life, and the truth you already know inside. Let's now move on to the guide for reading this book. Read this book for insight rather than knowledge. Wisdom or insight comes from inside. It is called insight inside for this reason. You must look within yourself and uncover the wisdom already there if you want to find anything in life. Your soul contains all the answers. This book is just a guide to help you find what you want. Anyone who still believes that what they're searching for is out there is someone I genuinely admire. This indicates that you have hope. We have nothing without hope. Thus you are reading this right now, which is evidence of your strength, bravery, and faith. If you keep going down the route you're on with the hope you have in your heart, I can assure you that you will find what you're seeking. To be clear, there are other books that contain truth besides this one. Everybody and everything includes the truth. To see and feel the truth, the spiritual, you must see past the form, the physical. This book contains untrue statements. They indicate the truth. To see the reality for yourself, look past words. Truth can only be experienced, it cannot be understood. The truth cannot be expressed in words since it contains an emotion. Look for a sensation rather than words if you seek the truth. Many people who find the truth will say they feel great joy, unconditional love and total tranquility. It is also referred to as the most familiar unfamiliar sensation. You seem to be at last at home. You will discover everything if you seek that sensation. I won't say anything in this book that you don't already know deep inside. This is why when you encounter the truth, it will feel familiar yet strange. You won't be able to solve it using your intelligence. You've missed it as soon as you start thinking about it. Memorizing a sentence or two won't reveal the truth. Even though a child can do it, they won't comprehend reality. The truth manifests as an emotion. The understanding and truth you seek will release you from that emotion. Isn't that what we all want in the end? In this book, I shall reveal something that will appear straightforward. Your brain ego will try to counteract or make it more complex because it will seem almost too simple. It will believe that this isn't possible. I want you to remember that the truth is always straightforward when that moment arrives. It is always possible to deconstruct complex things into their simpler counterparts. The fact that the truth cannot be divided into smaller parts makes it true. Truth is always straightforward because of this. Seek simplicity if you're looking for the truth. If you approach this book with an open mind and a heart purely set on the truth, you will find everything you've been looking for. Before we continue, I sincerely thank you for being here and giving me your time and attention. I appreciate you giving me that gift, which you are also offering to yourself, because those are some of the most precious life forces you could give to someone else. We only own humanity because of our divinity, so never forget your own divinity. Chapter 1. The Quest to Identify the Underlying Cause of Suffering. People find it difficult to let go of their suffering. They prefer familiar suffering because they are afraid of the unknown. Thich Nhat Hanh. It is crucial to distinguish between psychological and emotional suffering, which is what I mean when I refer to suffering in this book. There are ways to avoid experiencing emotional and psychological suffering, regardless of life events. I'm not saying that terrible and unfortunate things happen to people every day. I'm just saying that even though we go through a lot of pain in our lives, it's optional. In other words, while pain is inevitable, how we respond to the events and circumstances in our lives is up to us, and that will determine whether or not we suffer. Buddhists say that 2 arrows fly in our direction whenever we go through a bad time in our lives. It hurts to be hit by an arrow physically, and even more to be hit by another emotional arrow. The Buddha clarified, the second arrow is our response to the first, and it is optional. In life we can't always control the first arrow. I was confused when I first heard this quote from Buddha a few years ago because, while I understood what he meant, I wasn't sure how I could put it into practice in my own life. No one in their right mind would choose to suffer if given a clear choice between suffering and not suffering. How can I decide not to suffer? I doubt that anyone would be suffering anymore if it were that simple. I could halt suffering at its root once I gained a fresh perspective on its origin. I read dozens if not hundreds of books, studied psychology, saw therapists, listened to a wide range of thought leaders, tried to change my habits, woke up at 4 in the morning, changed my diet, became more disciplined and structured, shadowed, studied personality types, meditated every day, went on spiritual retreats, followed spiritual masters and researched various ancient religions as I started my journey of self-improvement. I've tried anything you can think of. I was desperate to find an answer because I wanted to know how to stop suffering in my own life and help others do the same. While some of these things did help me get better gradually, it didn't stop my suffering. I continued to feel incredibly anxious, fearful, unfulfilled, irritated, angry, frustrated, and heavy every day. Despite all of that, I still didn't find the answer, and if I'm being honest, I was even more lost than before I began this quest. It wasn't until I was at my lowest point that a flicker of hope started to guide me.
Toast sunglasses. See what's out there.